Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is the 14th of August 2018. We've got Contest of Champions stories to cover, so let's roll it! Yes indeed, let's start the show. If you're not familiar with what Marvel Contest of Champions is, it's a collection of news stories as well as articles and helpful bits of information that is brought together in one particular video. Make sure you keep subscribed to the channel because I do the news quite frequently, as well as hit notifications on, so when the videos ping up, you get to see them first. So let's dive into the news stories at large. Oh, and just before I forget, Frank the Tortoise, which is my pet tortoise, now has a YouTube channel. We did try and do a live stream today. Unfortunately, due to a few internet-based problems, which I will resolve for next week, so we'll do live streaming fresh. We'll hopefully get this streaming sorted so it is 100% working fine. I have uploaded a video, which if you want to go and check it out, it's there on the channel. Link is in the description. Our first story, or ein story, is all about a translation issue. So, a guten Tag, wie heißt du, to our Deutsch people that are watching, Deutsch viewers. And yes, there's been a translation issue with the German pronunciation. In the Anfrage is actually named as easy, as twice easy. So epic is not labeled correctly for the German translation. So you've got to Anfrage. It'd be great to see that the full bit of epic is actually easy, but it's not. It's meant to be hard at some point because we're in week 2 and it was a little bit easy for a lot of players. And Kabam Live responds to say this is under investigation, and it's not a crucial issue, but it's something to kind of say a shout out to the Deutsch people, German people watching, and also just to kind of say, hey, get the translation right. Next up, and the forum has seen icon changes, so you'll be able to choose for some new characters. In particular, you have got Goldpool, you've also got Domino, you've also got yourself an Iron Man Infinity War, you've got Massacre, you've got Wasp, and you've got Ghost. I can't recall whether or not the Carnage one is that. It's kind of odd if Carnage was not there to begin with, but a lot of players are actually big fans of Carnage, and as you know, there's a big call for him to be buffed. Whether or not we'll get it, I really don't know, and I think Captain America Infinity War was added to that. But yeah, if you're looking to change your icon with any of those, then have at it, you now can do that. Next up, and I want to talk about the $50 Google Play card, the one that runs the promotion for Marvel Contest of Champions, and the specifics to it. So if you're not aware, back a long ass time ago, we discussed this particular offer in that if you went a certain point to buy a particular Google Play card and put it in some kind of system, had a code, and the code would then allow you to get something unique. They weren't fantastic rewards, but they were extra kind of bonuses just as a thing. Now, this has been a post that I've seen a couple of times now. The last time we talked about it was probably about a month ago, and now it comes to the point someone has a similar experience in that the time and the type of store where it was purchased is specific whether or not you're going to get the rewards. Some people are posting in this particular section here that they got it from a 7-Eleven. And obviously, if you're not familiar in Europe, I don't know if there's any 7-Elevens in Europe, and definitely not in the UK that I know of. It's an American-based kind of convenience store. I think it's kind of like that. I don't know if I'm specifically saying it right, describing it right even, but that's where you get it from. A lot of people have said they've had success from buying it from those particular shops, and others, including this person here, said that maybe that is not the case. There's been 1 or 2 people that have said that they have got in contact with Kabam and said that they've experienced something of a similar issue where they've tried to redeem it, it's not worked. Some people saying it's 7-Eleven, but again, it's probably best to speak to the developer, but hopefully you get an answer back. There has been a Kabam representative that has said get in contact via this form, and there's a link to this in the description. If you go to it and click on the form, hopefully it's to start the process to kind of start that communication with Kabam, and fingers crossed that you get hold of them. Next up, and it's talking about Backlash, and the Backlash, and I'm not talking about the old WWE, WWF kind of pay-per-view, though shout out to people that remember Backlash. Yeah, we've got a lot of negative press going out on stuff like the Twitter, and I'm not going to start defending Kabam, that's completely the opposite. But a lot of people's frustrations are built around several different things. And in particular, we have had over the weekend some downtime. Like, I haven't covered news in a little while. That's because I've been doing some other stuff. But it has meant that there has been downtime, which has annoyed a lot of players. And in particular, people have voiced their concerns on social media posts. If you go to the Twitter link, which is in the description, this is a good example of people responding back to Kabam. It's not a case that we see people having this kind of positive relationship with the developer. And it does seem reigns very true on the subject. It would be nice to see a bit of consistency, and that is why you see the post that Marvel Contest Champions Drukos put up, and I will get that up in a second, which is here showcasing all of the inconsistency that we have in the game. Obviously, this is not made by him, but it's made by somebody else. The main thing to really say is this is disappointing. I do talk about the idea of like a game of this caliber, and when I'm referring to that, I'm talking about a game that is rated incredibly highly, has such a big following, and you'd expect to have consistency across the board. That is a high caliber game, a very well respected game, or should be a very well respected game. And I'm not going to talk about other games because it's completely unfair to do that, because we are just focusing on Marvel Contest of Champions. But as I'm playing other types of games, consistency is a lot stronger. And there's a game that I'm playing currently with Gameloft that I'm doing sponsored content through. And that game is a very consistent game. The graphics are incredible, and at the same time, the functionality is there. When you go to a game like this, you'd expect the same type of thing. But, and again, I'm getting to the point that this showcases an inconsistency with the game from a delivery point of view. Always with this, I don't feel that I should be negative about this. I do hope that Kabam can really get themselves together and deliver a game month in, month out that is successful for a point of champions being built and keeping consistency and server strength. Everything else would need to then come together, but it's mainly those two things, so we don't have any kind of bugs being had by certain champions, and at the same time the servers are running at correct times, because there's a big call. Someone got in contact with me today and said, well, they should be pushing out these 30-minute timers a little bit more, and there's so many different argument points with that, from people that work during the day, they have school during the day, they have homework, they have other stuff, other commitments. Having 30-minute timers, yes, would be helpful for that, but it's not always what the community would want. I'm not going to throw numbers at that. When I say 60% of people would like to have that in the game, that again was something that would need to be polled with people. But yeah, it would be nice to see a bit of improvement and listening from the developer, and people just sitting down going like, you know, well, what do we feel is wrong? And we should go back to that stage where we have we listen to you, because it used to be a case they used to do that from time to time. They go like, we've listened, and it's not a case we should be moaning about stuff that's been changed. It should be a case of we're going, right, let's work towards something to improve the situation ongoing. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on the matter. We've still got a good 20 odd days left before the end of the month, and hopefully next update is consistent. Fingers crossed. Next up, and let's talk about Blade. Danger Sense. Yeah, the kind of holy trinity. Yeah, okay, so this is something of a post which gets traction from time to time when it is put into the forum as a discussion point. Is Blade's usage in Alliance Wars making the whole situation a bit boring, a bit too much? And again, 2 argument points with this. Some may feel that they've seen too many Blades in Alliance Wars, and some may kind of go, well, I don't actually use Blade, and it's like I may have Blade with me, but I don't overly use them. And villain synergies, villains being put in at the end, is that something of an issue? Is Danger Sense in general so bad that it shouldn't be put in? Should I not bother with things like Dormammu, with having a villain like MODOK and other champions? Yeah, okay, there's a lot of things in that to discuss. However, though, there are people that don't have Blade and don't use them. Some fantastic and very successful players in the game do not actually have or do not actually use Blade. I, for example, use Medusa and I use Captain Marvel, and yeah, I do use Blade. Should I utilize the synergies? Yeah, maybe I should, but at the same time, I enjoy Medusa a lot more than I would enjoy having Blade. A lot of people may forget the fact that I spent months without awakening my Blade, and yeah, the standard Blade is still good. However, though, my Awakened Medusa. If I was to then choose which ones to have, I'd probably have my Medusa over Blade, and especially if I was then going to utilize the Inhuman Royal Family synergy and kick some ass. However, I don't have a strong enough Karnak to make that particular team of 3 work as a strong fighting unit, unless I was just going to choose to use just one single champion. And yeah, there's loads of different argument points that isn't that with the new characters being put in and the new synergies being attached to them. Are they going to make them more stronger? Are we in a year's time going to be talking about Blade still? I've always say this, maybe not, possibly not, probably not. But we'll see what happens in a year's time. There's probably going to be better champions. I wouldn't even be surprised if with the changes of rights that we see a Silver Surfer, we see a Doctor Doom, and we go to ourselves, Blade who? So yeah, always take it with a pinch of salt. Things will probably change in the future. Keep calm, carry on, smile and thumbs up. Okay, so this got a bit of traction and thought I'd just talk about it. So the CurveBall champion. We are now 8 months in. I should probably do a catch-up video on the whole kind of like puzzle situation. But yeah, okay, so we're 8 months in. Who is the CurveBall champion? Have we still got to wait until the end of the year? If I was a smart company, I would probably put the CurveBall champion in December. The last champion, the big mystery, the big reveal, and then boom, there we go. That would be how I play it. I don't know if Kabam would probably go down that line. Yeah, CurveBall champion is something that wasn't meant to be put in there. People saying gold pool. I thought it was an absolutely terrible choice to put in gold pool. Gold pool is just he's not a bad champion, but it's one of these things where I just don't see any value of that being added into the game. The reskin, that's Kabam back in 2015-16, and it shouldn't be Kabam now. I would probably say that we, like I said, there's plenty more champions to be put in there. Heimdall, really happy about that being put in. CurveBall, probably not. Red Skull, was he a CurveBall? Don't know. Should have been put in a long time ago. Changed a little bit from how they had him in the game files, but Kabam needed to get that monkey off their back and put him in. There's a few more that are in the system that should really be put into the game in future, but we'll see what's going to happen to the end of the year and maybe starting 2019. Next up, and we've got arena results. No surprises here with how things have dropped. We have got a 22 mil for Yondu. Didn't really expect that to be, I mean, that's around like I think what I thought it was going to be. What I think it's going to be again, I think anything around about 23 mil, 24 mil for the midweek. People may be a bit surprised that he went for so low, but who knows. Then we've got the 4-star version going for 4.6 mil. This is pretty darn low, and probably be the same again. And then we've got a basic, we've got 3.4 mil, and a little bit higher than I normally kind of think with things. Like we've got Killmonger going for 3.4 mil instead of like 3.2, 3.3. I'd probably say 3.5 to 3.9 mil is going to be a very safe bet if you're looking to grind him out this midweek. And next up, we have got this lovely arena here. So we've got Heimdall going in, and then we've got Thor, Jane Foster going in. I think with Heimdall, you're going to look for anything 5-star is probably going to go for about 40 mil. I really don't know how people are playing at the moment. Are they extensively playing? Is it because of the summer holidays that people aren't playing quite so much? Arena seems to be cut off, lowered down. I don't know what the lay of the land is with this, but it would be interesting to see if we've had a... I mean, Kabam will never drop their statistics, whether or not, you know, there's less players in the game nowadays based on people flagging up and going, I've had enough of this, or going on to other games. I know that when we've got Spider-Man coming out, I do plan to do videos on Spider-Man when it comes out for the PS4. I just need to get my shooting kind of video stuff sorted out. Any case, off on a tangent. 5-star version, 30-40 mil. 4-star version, I think about 14 mil to 15 mil. The cutoffs of the 4-star have been going down a little bit, so 14 to 15 mil. I think this is going to be a popular champion. I may go for the 4-star version. I don't know. I haven't decided. And crystals, oh man, I can't warrant the spend. Next thing is Thor, Jane Foster. Expect the basic to go for 1.6, 1.7 mil. So if you're looking to get something on the cheap, have at it and grab it. So that's been Marvel Contest of Champions news. Make sure if you like the news to hit the like button and subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content. I've been Rich the Man, and as always, I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.